Hey everyone, welcome into Patriots Report. Let's get into our first news and rumor of the day, and let's start with Gronk being ready for Super Bowl 52. So we know that he's in the concussion protocol after taking that nasty, possibly dirty hit from Barry Church. So we're going to do this with 3 Lombardi trophies. Is it 50-50? Is he going to play? We're not really sure. So the kind of lowdown with this, the Patriots have had every single one of their players in the concussion protocol miss at least one game. And we know that Gronk missed the entire second half versus the Jaguars with that concussion. We know he's in the protocol, so it's going to take at least 4 days for him to get through the entire protocol. But there are a couple reports that he should be ready to go for the Super Bowl. Matthew Slater, our special teams captain and future Patriots Hall of Famer, did say that Rob Gronkowski was in good spirits when he talked to him. Obviously, you know, that doesn't really mean anything because Rob Gronkowski is always in good spirits, but it is good to hear that he's at least moving around and doing okay. It was a really nasty hit, so if he is going to be ready for the Super Bowl, it will be a nice improvement for him. Just a reminder, like I said before, every single Patriots player in the concussion protocol has missed at least one game. However, with the Super Bowl being 2 weeks away, that might give Rob Gronkowski enough time to be ready. Let's get into our second news and rumor. How about Brady's hand? So obviously we know that after being 1 stitch or 2 stitch and a broken bone, this and that, the full injury report is that Brady's hand, or the bone in his hand, apparently pierced his skin all the way through his palm, and he had to get 12 stitches. Obviously, 12 stitches for number 12 is as ironic and funny as it sounds. We're going to give this 5 Lombardi trophies. He is going to be fully healed for the Super Bowl. We know that he had that piece of tape over the stitches, but by the time that it comes around, the suture will be healed, the stitches will be out, and he will be good to go. Who knows? Maybe he actually might play worse without the stitches. He was obviously pretty fantastic against the Jaguars with the stitches in his hand. So we know that he was injured when he gave the handoff to Rex Burkhead. I hope that Rex has apologized to him by now. It has to be a little bit awkward for Rex Burkhead to walk around the clubhouse and not really know how to interact with Brady after the injury, but his hand will be fine. We're giving this one 5 Lombardi trophies. By the way, most other shows would have a 0 to 4 scale. We do 1 to 5 here because we have 5 Super Bowls. We don't deal with nothing here. We deal with championships. I'm Harris Rubenstein, and welcome to the Patriots Report. We're going to take you through the biggest news and rumors of the day, and then we're going to finish off the show by going through Tom Brady's 5 best comebacks in the playoffs. A lot of them are recent, but we have a couple old ones as well to take you guys down memory lane. Let's get into our rumor meter first to take you guys through what exactly these Lombardi trophies mean. So if you see 1 Lombardi trophy, we're on to Cincinnati. There's no truth to it. We're moving on. Don't worry about it. It's not even worth your thought. 2 Lombardis, it's Ted Wells level, in that there's like maybe a 2% or 5% level of truth to it because we know what Ted Wells does when it comes to honesty. 3 Lombardi trophies is about 50-50. We'll see what happens. It could go either way. We're not 100% sure about it, and we'll keep you guys updated on that news story throughout the week. 4 Lombardi trophies, it's pretty likely it's going to happen, just like the Patriots winning this next Super Bowl against the Eagles. And then 5 Lombardi trophies, count the rings, baby. That means it is a 100% fact and is going to happen. And a little example for you, just like Brady's hand will be healed for the Super Bowl. Let's get into the third Patriots news and rumor of the day. Brian Flores to replace Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator. This is an interesting one because we know that he was looking into the Arizona Cardinals to possibly be their head coach. We're going to give this one 4 Lombardi trophies. Not quite 5 yet because obviously he hasn't officially been brought on as the DC because Patricia hasn't officially left because the season's still going for the Patriots. But it is pretty likely. He's been in waiting for a while now in order to become the defensive coordinator. The players love him. If you're a real Patriots fan, you know how much the Patriots players love Brian Flores. They always talk about it. He's beloved by his players. And it's really interesting. You do not hear a lot of linebacker coaches getting head coach appeal, and that should show you just kind of the dynamic that he has with the players, with the Patriots organization as well. We're going to give this one 4 Lombardi trophies. I think he'll be a fantastic replacement for Matt Patricia. And I think, you know, Brian Flores kind of moving up the scale will be really good for the organization as well to show that they can keep coaches in-house instead of all of them leaving. Goodbye, Josh McDaniels, by the way. Let's get into the Super Bowl tickets. Is this going to be the most expensive Super Bowl ticket ever? We're going to give this one 5 Lombardi trophies because, oh yeah, this is going to be the most expensive Super Bowl ticket ever. As of right now, the average Super Bowl ticket for this is $6,000. The get-in price was originally $5,000. It is since dropped, excuse me, to $3,800, but the average ticket price is $6,000. To put this into a little bit of a scale for you, the average price, excuse me, of the Floyd Mayweather-McGregor fight was $4,500. So this ticket price is $1,500 more than the average ticket price to Mayweather-McGregor. So pretty stunning stuff. It is going to be the most expensive Super Bowl ticket ever. So if you're traveling from Massachusetts, I hope you've been saving up, because it's going to be a pretty expensive venture to see if the Patriots can have their second dynasty to bracket Tom Brady's career. Let's get into our next news and rumor. Was Matt Patricia the Giants' first choice for head coach? Did he spurn the Giants? Now, the New York Post came out with an interesting report that apparently the Giants very much wanted Matt Patricia. So we're going to give this one 4 Lombardi trophies. Now, it is a little bit interesting because if you're a Patriots fan, you know about Matt Patricia. He's not exactly the biggest, he doesn't have the biggest ego. So him going to New York City was always going to be a little bit of a weird fit. Him going to the Lions was a much better one. Smaller city, has a connection to the Patriots with the GM. And him just going to the Giants, big market, first head coaching job, isn't really Matt Patricia's MO. He was apparently the Giants' top option. Apparently the Giants are really pissed about this. There is quote-unquote discontent in the organization for missing out on him. Pat Shurmur was apparently their third option for the head coaching job. Maybe Josh McDaniels was the number 2 option there. But yes, Matt Patricia was indeed the Giants' first choice, so we're giving this one 4 Lombardi trophies. Our last news and rumor is Chad O'Shea going to be the next offensive coordinator. So if you do know who Chad O'Shea is, you do know that he is the wide receivers coach for the Patriots. Took over for Bill O'Brien as the wide receivers coach when he became the quarterbacks coach way back in 2009, and he's been the wide receivers coach ever since. Currently runs the red zone offense, has been doing a really good job the past couple years. They did struggle a little bit in the beginning of the season with the red zone offense. I don't think it's anything to worry about. He's worked a lot with Tom Brady. He's obviously worked heavily with Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola in the past. So we're going to give this one 3 Lombardi trophies. We'll see. I still think the Patriots might look to the outside to see what they might want to do with the offensive coordinator position. But right now, Chad O'Shea is the one in waiting. He's done a really good job as a wide receivers coach. If you do remember him, you'll remember him from the Do Your Job documentary. I think he was both in part 1 and part 2. Hopefully he'll be in part 3 when the Patriots take down the Philadelphia Eagles in 2 weeks. But as of right now, Chad O'Shea, we'll give this one 3 Lombardi trophies. We'll see. Not 100% certainty. But at the same time, it's still more likely, it's still tough to say he is the top candidate, at least in-house. Let's take a little trip down memory lane and go through Tom Brady's 5 best playoff comebacks. Obviously, the one against the Jaguars was really nice. 10 points down in the 4th quarter, coming all the way back from struggling in the first half. It's a good one. Didn't make our list. Actually, it didn't, and we're going to start with one of my favorite Patriots games all time when Tom Brady led 2 scoring drives in the 4th quarter to take down the Chargers super team of Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Antonio Gates. If you remember the LaDainian Tomlinson season from that year, he scored 28 touchdowns in the regular season, one of the greatest running back seasons of all time. They were up against the Patriots 21-12 in the 4th quarter, but as we know, Tom Brady led those 2 historic drives. He did throw a pick in the 4th quarter, but Troy Brown causes a fumble. The guy fumbles the ball. The Patriots get the ball back, go down, and get a touchdown. One of my favorite games just because it wasn't one of Tom Brady's best games, but that 4th quarter drive was fantastic. And one more thing before we move on. Let's just all look at Tom Brady's top 2 receiving options from that game. Throwback to Jabbar Gaffney and Rashae Caldwell as the top options on the Patriots offense. What a crazy year that was for the Pats. Obviously, it didn't go too well in the next round, but one of more of my favorite Patriots games of all time that's kind of forgotten about, so I'm happy to see it make our list. Let's get into our next one. One of the better games that I think Tom Brady has ever come back in. The game in 2014 against the Baltimore Ravens. The Patriots were down 14 points twice in this one. First it was 14-0, and then it was 28-14. But it did not matter because Tom Brady was amazing in the second half. I remember this play against Brandon LaFell. I was screaming to my dad, Brandon LaFell on single coverage on the outside, Brandon LaFell on single coverage to the outside. Tom Brady and I apparently share brains. He saw 2 and threw a strike. Brandon LaFell actually caught that ball one-handed, so pretty incredible highlight there. 35-31, the Patriots take down the Ravens to move on to the AFC Championship game where they would obviously move on to the Super Bowl. They smoked, I believe it was the Colts in that AFC Championship game. It was a pretty nasty beatdown, but Gronk was great in that one. Amendola, as usual. Danny playoff Amendola was fantastic in that game. So another great comeback for the Patriots. That's only number 4 on our list. We have 3 more to go. So let's get to number 3. How about Tom Brady against the Legion of Boom? Down in the 4th quarter, and he throws 2 touchdowns against the Legion of Boom, dissecting one of the best defenses statistically in the history of the NFL. I remember this game. You obviously remember from the Malcolm Butler interception. I don't think any of us will ever forget that play. But Amendola had one of the touchdowns. And then the Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, every slot receiver in the Patriots history has run that route and gotten a touchdown in the end, obviously, with Malcolm Butler, the interception. I remember if you watched that highlight a couple times, Brady screaming like, I think we can all say screaming like a girl on the sidelines. I was screaming like that too. I'm sure you were too if you were watching this as a Patriots fan out there. Pretty incredible game. I will never forget this one. Just with how great Tom Brady was in the 4th quarter to take down the Seahawks, especially after that whole weird Chris Matthews end of the first half calamity. Was not pretty in the first half, but the second half was a totally different story. Don't forget about Tom Brady dissecting the Legion of Boom. Did I remind you that Tom Brady took down the Legion of Boom? Oh, yeah, Tom Brady dissected the Legion of Boom. It was a pretty fantastic one. So those are our top 3 to go for the 2014 divisional round against the Ravens, the 2006 divisional round against the Chargers, and the Super Bowl against the Seahawks that have started our current dynasty of winning 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls, hopefully our 3rd and 4th year coming up in the next couple weeks. Let's get into number 2. Probably the most iconic single game in Patriots history. The first Super Bowl that Tom Brady won with the Patriots. They took down the best show on turf, Ty Law, with the incredible pick 6. But the highlight of this game was the drive that Tom Brady led with 1.5 minutes left in the game. I'll never forget it. John Madden sitting in his booth saying, "They should kneel it here. What are they doing trying to go down and score?" And Tom Brady shoved it in his face and led a beautiful field goal drive that set up Adam Vinatieri for the most important kick of his life, 45 yards, and it is good. The first Super Bowl in the New England Patriots history. Brady actually wasn't that great in that game. 16-27, 145 and a touchdown. The Rams actually had a great defense on the other side of that offense. It gets forgotten a lot because obviously the best show on turf was a little bit difficult to overlook, but let's be honest, everyone. We'll never forget that 4th quarter comeback. We'll never forget that drive with 1.5 minutes left. And Adam Vinatieri, wherever you are, if you're watching this, you have a Hall of Fame voter right here. If Adam Vinatieri is not a Hall of Fame kicker, I give up. I don't know what a guy has to do to get into the Hall of Fame kicking 2 game-winning Super Bowl kicks. What are you going to do? Let's get into our number 1 comeback. And is there really any question at this point? Has to be Brady coming back down from 28-3. He had the pick 6, his first ever pick 6 in his entire playoff history. And it didn't even matter. They were down 21-3 going to halftime. The Falcons scored another touchdown on the other side of the half to make it 28-3. And then with 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, Brady turned it on. We all remember the insane catch from Julian Edelman in the middle of the field. We have our own Tyree catch finally, and then James White plowing into the end zone to give the Patriots the title. What an incredible game for this one. 34-28 was our final score. Tom Brady, at 39 years old, I love pointing this out, threw the ball 62 times. 62 times. Unbelievable for a 39-year-old quarterback. Will be unbelievable for a 30-year-old comeback to do that. And mind you, that was a really good Falcons defense. So one of the greatest comebacks in Patriot history, one of the greatest comebacks in football history, and one of the greatest comebacks in sports history in general. So which playoff comeback was your favorite? Give us a heart for 28-3. Give us a wow face for the Seahawks Super Bowl. Give me a laughing face for Brady's first versus the Rams. And give me a thumbs up for the Ravens in 2014. My favorite comeback, I mean, you kind of have to say 28-3, but that Ravens comeback in 2014 will always hold a special place in my heart. It was just that incredible double pass from Julian Edelman to Danny Amendola. Gronk finally healthy in a playoff series where he could really dominate against a defense. One of the more special comebacks in my heart, but that 28-3, he was down 28-3. What an unbelievable comeback for Brady. One unbelievable moment for the New England Patriots. But that's going to do it for me. Go follow me on Twitter at SportsTeen. But this has been Patriots Report. Go follow us at Chat Sports. I'll see you next time.